When it comes to sales and dealing with objections, what's something that you can do as a salesperson to be better and close more deals? I'm Sylvan Bell. I'm coming to you live from the North Shore of Oahu. I am at Sharks Cove on a perfect day to talk about sales and a perfect day to talk about business. Now, when I say it's a perfect day, it's like 75 degrees outside. There's no rain. It's been raining for the last 8 days while I've been out here. It is a perfect day. So here's the thing. You have to know that buyers have default objections, and it's a test. And what happens is a lot of times salespeople, they don't understand that when they go and they meet with a buyer and the buyer says something like, your price is too high. Your price is too high is like, this is really a question. And what they're saying is like, are you BSing me? Is your price really what you says it is? Is there a discount that I can get? Are you really as good as what you say they are? Like, it's a default. It doesn't mean it's true. And sometimes what you need to know is it's nervous energy. It's nervous energy. So the buyer says something, they say out the objection, and what it is they're not used to being put under pressure. And they're not used to having a conversation. A lot of times salespeople count that as an objection. It's not really an objection. It's more of their mind is just opening up and they're expressing feelings and emotions. And once you understand this, it does make it easier for you to close deals and close more sales. Now, I'm not saying it's the holy grail. I'm not saying it's the Rosetta Stone of sales, but I will tell you, it is a good piece of sales advice. It is a good piece of sales tip, knowledge, strategy, tactic for you to understand that as you talk to people, start paying attention to this trait. When you talk to friends, sometimes the nervous energy, when they're put under a lot of pressure, they crack. They say something they're not supposed to. It's like if you ever watch Cops on television, this happens a lot. When somebody's put under pressure, like the cop walks up and he just looks at them and they're like, it was the first time I've ever done this. Okay, the brain plays tricks on people and they say stuff and they do stuff that they don't necessarily mean. And I'm not saying that people are lying to you. I'm just saying it's just an involuntary reaction. So if I went to go flick you, you would probably bounce back and go, whoa. It's a reaction. Okay, you need to understand this. This is super huge. I see salespeople struggle with this a lot, and you don't need to. A lot of times the first objection is not the real objection. First objection is not the real objection. It's nervous energy. And as soon as you get this figured out, you're like, got it. This is a lesson I wish I would have learned early on in my sales career because I discounted a lot of stuff to get sales. I made this mistake. Me, Scott, I made this mistake. I'm not perfect, right? And this is how I know to teach you to not do these things because I did these things myself, okay? So here's the thing. The first objection's not always a real objection. The first objection could just be nervous energy. And you got to know automatically everybody complains about price, no matter where you go. I'm out here in Hawaii, and Hawaii is typically, so I live in California most of the year, typically Hawaii is going to be about 15 to 20% more expensive than the rest of the mainland, sometimes 30 depending upon where you live. And so people come out here and they get frustrated. They go to dinner not realizing that, like, if you go to dinner somewhere on the mainland and it's typically 15 to 20 bucks, it's probably going to be 25 to 30 here. And so there's an underlying pressure that people have that they don't understand, and it causes problems, right? And so people, when they come and say, hey, like, can you come sell me a product, a widget, a gizmo? And you're like, yeah, sure. They don't really have a range for what that thing's supposed to cost. They don't have an idea of what it's supposed to be, and they don't have anything to pin that knowledge against. And so, like, their first objection is, wow, that's a lot of money, or wow, that's too much money, not knowing everything that's involved and everything is included, especially if you're taking shortcuts in your sales process. So there you go. The first objection to sales is not always the real objection, and it causes problems for you if you don't know that. Cool? So if you've fallen for this, make a note in the description in the box down below, or just in the box below, say, hey, look, I've fallen for that, and I didn't realize that the first objection wasn't the real objection. It was more of a smokescreen. Because, like, most salespeople fall for this. I did. Like, I'm admitting to you while I'm standing here on a perfect day on the North Shore of Oahu that I fell for it. Now, if you've never been to this channel before, you got one thing to do from here, just one thing. Find the subscribe button and click on it. Every time I send out a video, you'll get an update that says Scott Bell Consultant sent out a video. You should check it out, which you should. We'll see you soon. Aloha.